Okay, so now we're ready to try a ranunculus. So I've got a tip 103, and I've got 2 bags just because it's easier for me. I've got more than one 103 tip, most of us do. Again, we're going to have the wide end down. It's going to touch the nail, and the skinny end up. That's to make nice thin petals. Do a little dip of green icing there to hold the paper on. This is light green. I used the juniper green, just a very, very light amount. And what we're going to do is we're going to build a mound. Okay. And then we're going to start going around this mound, keeping the bag tilted in toward the mound. So it's going to be like this, tilted in. Okay, so when I come in, I'm going to come over the mound, almost like drawing a line. Okay, and I'm going to do that 3 times. So it makes kind of like a little triangle in the middle. Okay. Don't forget to keep wiping that tip off. Then I'm going to do it again, keeping that tip in. Okay. Then I'm going to switch to the white. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to start bringing it longer. Keep it up because the center is going to be buried in there. Okay, see how it's nice and tight and there's lots of petals? Then I'm going to start bringing my tip to more straight up and down as I come across. A little shaky. Notice how I'm overlapping the center of the leaf, the petal that I just finished. So when I come in, I'm over this one I just finished. I'm going to come in the middle of that, start from the top, come up, and then back down. Okay, that's how I'm doing that. These have lots and lots of petals. Okay, and then the last row here, it's about the size I want. The last row, I'm going to take my hand, and instead of straight up and down, I'm actually going to angle it out a little bit. Just a tiny bit. And nice and long petals, nice and long. And that kind of finishes off the bottom there. Okay? Okay. You notice how that center is like buried in there deep. That's what they look like. The petals are higher. So, all right. Okay, so we're going to go on to the peony now. What I've done is I've actually striped my bag, just filled it with 2 different frostings. This is one of the icing cartridges I use. It's a lot easier to do this than it is to actually try to put 2 different icings in a bag. Excuse me. This is a lot easier. We go over icing cartridges in the tools on YummyArts and in several other videos, but basically all it is a flat piece of plastic wrap, and you put frosting in the middle and you just roll it up and then twist the ends. Okay? And then I just store it, and then when you're ready to use it, you just cut one of the ends off like so, and you pop it in your bag. So that makes it a lot easier, very simple, and I can reload really fast. I've got the 123 tip. This is a very large tip. I like using it because it makes really big flowers. This is an Antico tip. I believe other makers do make this tip, but I don't know the number. This just happens to be a 123. I know that there is a 61, a tip 61, that looks just like this, only it's smaller. So, in fact, I don't know if I'm even using that. I'm actually going to be using that, so you'll see it when I use it. But this is a really cool tip. It makes beautiful rounded petals. So we're going to show you how to do that. So we'll put our bag in here. And we want the skinny end at the top of my petal and the white at the bottom. So there, that's how I have it. There's the tip. Okay. So we're just going to make a nice size mound, right? And then I'm going to start on the bottom, and I'm going to do come up and then down, and I'm going to tilt it in slightly. Tilt it in slightly like this, okay? It already has kind of a curve, so I'm going to tilt it in just ever so slightly and do a slight wiggle. So up and down as I squeeze. Okay, so come up and then do a slight wiggle and then down. And I want to again make that same triangle that I did before. So I got somewhat of a triangle there. Okay, so there you see it. Now I want to go over that again, keeping it in. See if we can tilt that a little bit for you to see. And I'm doing 5 petals. Okay, and then 1 more. And the petals are getting longer. Okay. And that is my version of a peony.